You never expect your life to fall apart on a random Tuesday morning. There was nothing unusual about that day. The sky was dull, the air thick with humidity. I was sitting at the kitchen table, halfway through a stale cup of coffee, still in my wrinkled t-shirt and trying to wake myself up before the kids came downstairs for breakfast. The house was calm, that rare and fleeting moment of peace before school prep and work emails hijacked the rhythm. Lisa, my wife of 13 years, was upstairs in the shower. I could hear the soft splash of water, the same sound I'd grown used to every morning. I wasn't thinking about anything heavy. I was just scrolling through the news on my laptop, zoning out until something popped up. Ding. A Facebook Messenger notification. But not mine. Lisa had used my laptop the night before. I remember now, she said hers was charging, and she needed to order something from a group page she managed. I didn't think twice about it. She'd done it before. But apparently she never logged out. And there it was, her name, her profile picture, and a message preview. Can't stop thinking about last night. You always make me feel like I'm the only one that matters. At first, my brain refused to process it. It had to be spam. A wrong chat. Maybe someone got hacked? But then came the sinking feeling. That tightening in your chest that whispers, check anyway. So I clicked. It opened a message thread that felt like walking into someone else's home, unfamiliar, intimate, off limits. And in it, a man I'd never heard of, pouring his heart out to my wife. And she was replying. Affectionately. Flirtatiously. Repeatedly. I scrolled. Not fast, slowly, carefully, like peeling back the skin on a wound I didn't want to admit was there. 5 years. 5 years of conversations. Travel plans. Shared jokes. Moments. Hotel confirmations. Comments about our little world and how they'd figure it all out eventually. My name came up. Not just once. Often. With phrases like, he has no clue. I'm so tired of pretending. If only things were simpler. I could feel the air draining out of the room. My ears rang. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. The woman I shared everything with, every paycheck, every dinner table story, every Christmas morning, had been carrying on a full-blown emotional and physical affair behind my back. Not for weeks. Not for months. For half a decade. And she was still humming upstairs. Shampooing her hair. Maybe thinking about him. I sat there, numb, her phone still open beside me, blinking with another message notification. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just stared at the screen, at all the fake words, the private jokes, the things she never said to me anymore. And then I looked around the kitchen. The family photos. The school calendar. The live, laugh, love sign she insisted on hanging above the doorway. It was all a stage set. A performance. And I had been the only one in the dark. The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was how ordinary she made it seem. How routine. As if betrayal had become just another part of her daily life, like brushing her teeth or pouring coffee. In that moment, something inside me shattered. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I knew this. Nothing would ever be the same again. I didn't storm upstairs. I didn't yell or throw the laptop against the wall, even though every cell in my body screamed for release. Instead, I sat there, breathing slowly, trying to hold onto the last strand of self-control I had left. My hands were clenched so tightly my knuckles had gone pale. I was shaking not from rage, not even from sadness, but from the realization that my entire reality had shifted in one morning. This wasn't just about infidelity. This was about living beside someone who had been carefully erasing you, day by day, while smiling to your face. Lisa came downstairs about 10 minutes later, wrapped in a towel, hair still damp, humming that same stupid tune like she hadn't just set fire to our entire marriage. When she saw me sitting there, staring dead ahead, her smile wavered. "You okay?" she asked casually, moving toward the coffee pot. I didn't answer. She poured herself a cup, took a sip, and turned back toward me. That's when she saw the laptop. Still open. Still glowing. Still showing the chat window. Her face froze. And for the first time in years, she couldn't fake it. Her body tensed. Her eyes darted across the screen, then back to me. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I just looked at her, really looked, and I saw a woman I no longer recognized. She opened her mouth to say something, maybe to lie, maybe to spin a story, but I cut her off before a single word came out. How long? Her lips trembled slightly. What? I raised my voice just enough to silence her. How long, Lisa? Don't insult me. Don't play dumb. Don't pretend this is new. I've read enough to know this has been going on for years. So I'm asking you one last time. How long? She swallowed hard, looked away. 5 years, she whispered. I nodded slowly. That hurt more than I expected. 5 years. That's longer than some people stay married. 5 years of our family vacations, school plays, late-night talks about our future, all happening while she was giving pieces of herself to someone else. Why? I asked, my voice raw. She didn't answer right away. When she did, it wasn't with tears. It wasn't even with shame. It was with exhaustion. I don't know. I was lonely. You were always working. The kid's life just got so repetitive. And with him, I felt seen again. I felt alive. I felt alive. That sentence, it still echoes in my head sometimes. Because I realized in that moment, she wasn't sorry. Not really. She was sorry she got caught. Sorry that it finally came to light. Sorry that now she had to deal with the fallout. I stood up. My chair scraped loudly across the floor. Get out, I said. Her eyes widened. What? You heard me. Pack a bag. You're not staying here tonight. But the kids. I'll tell them you had a meeting. I'll figure it out. But you? You're not sleeping in our bed after this. She stood frozen, like she hadn't actually believed I'd kick her out. But I meant it. And she saw that. So she turned and went upstairs, silent. No arguments. No begging. Just that same look of guilt wrapped in self-pity. I sat back down, the silence pressing in from all sides. It was over. Or at least, the version of us I had believed in was. I don't know why I said yes. Maybe it was for the kids. Maybe it was for the years we'd shared. Or maybe, just maybe, it was because I needed to know that I had done everything before I finally let her go. Because a part of me, even after the betrayal, still wanted to believe this was salvageable. That night, after Lisa left, I lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, hearing every creak of the house, every breath from my children's rooms. I thought about birthday parties, vacations, nights curled up on the couch with popcorn and bad movies. And I thought about all the lies that must have slipped between those moments like poison. She came back the next day, not with flowers or apologies, but with the tired, hollow look of someone who knew they were now living on borrowed time. I want to fix this, she said. If you'll let me. I didn't answer her right away. I couldn't. But I agreed to therapy. We sat across from each other on a beige couch in a warm office that smelled like vanilla candles and desperation. The therapist asked questions. Lisa cried. I sat still, arms folded, heart locked behind a wall of disbelief. She said she was sorry. She said she'd felt alone. She said the affair wasn't really about love, but about escape. Validation. She said she'd ended it. And like a fool, I wanted to believe her. So we kept going. Week after week, I listened as she tried to rebuild trust with apologies and explanations. But every time I looked at her, I didn't see my wife anymore. I saw the woman from the messages. I saw the lies she crafted. The hotel rooms. The sneaking around while I was putting our kids to bed. And the worst part? She cried. But it always felt like she was crying for herself, not for what she did to me. I tried. I really did. I cooked dinner. I asked about her day. I sat through therapy exercises and wrote lists of what I was grateful for, like they told me. But inside, something was rotting. I'd lie awake at night while she slept beside me and wonder if she missed him, if she still checked his profile, if she compared our life to what they had behind my back. And no matter how many words she said, none of them could compete with that one thought that ate away at me. She chose someone else. Over and over. For 5 years. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. And it was only a matter of time before I had to face the truth. I wasn't healing. I was delaying the inevitable. I remember the exact moment I knew I was done. It wasn't during one of our therapy sessions. It wasn't after another fight or another lie. It was while I was brushing my daughter's hair one morning. She was humming to herself, kicking her legs at the edge of the bed, chattering about something they were doing at school. Her voice was so full of light, so innocent, and for a split second, I imagined what she'd think of love when she got older. Would she think this was normal? That love meant swallowing betrayal and pretending everything was fine? That forgiveness was something you owed, even when trust was shattered. And it hit me. I wasn't just showing my kids how to live with love. I was showing them how to live with pain. By staying with Lisa, I was teaching them to accept less than they deserved. I stared at my daughter, then at myself in the mirror, and I didn't recognize the man standing there. I looked older, tired, hollowed out by resentment. I had spent months trying to hold something together that had already died. Lisa was trying. I'll give her that. She stopped seeing him. She followed every rule the therapist laid out. She tried to be transparent, to be present. But no matter what she did, it didn't reach me. Not anymore. Because love doesn't survive on obedience. It lives on respect, on truth, on the belief that you're both on the same team. And she had destroyed that. One night, after the kids had gone to bed and the house had gone quiet, I sat her down. She knew. She could feel it coming. I can't do this anymore, I said. Her eyes welled with tears. Please. I held up a hand. I'm not doing this out of anger. I'm not doing it to punish you. I'm doing it because I deserve peace. And so do you. She cried. Not loud, but that kind of trembling sadness that comes from finally realizing something's truly over. And I didn't cry. Because for the first time in months, I felt clear. Not happy. Not triumphant. Just free. We agreed to separate. Quietly, for the kids. We told them gently, together, that sometimes adults grow apart, and it wasn't their fault. Lisa moved in with her sister. I kept the house. And for a while, it was hard. Waking up alone. Eating dinner in silence. Folding laundry without someone across the couch. But slowly, the emptiness turned into space. And that space became mine. I found my voice again. My identity. My strength. Because the truth is, I didn't lose something when Lisa cheated. I was freed from the lie I was living. It's strange how quiet life becomes after the storm. No shouting. No lying. No checking phones behind someone's back. Just silence and the slow, honest sound of yourself breathing again. Months passed. The divorce was finalized without drama. We agreed on custody. We split things fairly. Lisa tried to keep things polite, soft emails, calm voices in front of the kids. But underneath it all, I could feel her regret growing like a shadow. She started messaging me late at night. Small things, at first. I saw the kids' drawings. You're doing great. I miss talking to you. I made a mistake. I see that now. Then came the longer messages. The emotional ones. The, I should have fought harder, and maybe we were just tired, not broken. The, can we meet for coffee? But I never answered. Because I knew what she was doing, trying to crawl back into something she abandoned. She missed me, not the real me, but the comfort, the safety, the quiet confidence of someone who loved her completely. She missed being trusted, being believed in. And now that it was gone, she was starting to realize what she'd actually lost. But I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her. The version of us I thought we were. The future I'd imagined, growing old together, watching our kids graduate, traveling in retirement. But she chose to burn that version down. And I refused to build from the ashes. The kids are doing okay now. We've settled into a rhythm. I see joy in them again, not strained, not forced. Real joy. And me? I've found myself again in small ways. A new book I actually have time to read. Dinners with old friends. Long walks that don't end in arguments. Lisa will always be the mother of my children. But she will never again be the keeper of my heart. She regrets it. And maybe she always will. But me? I sleep better now. I live louder. I love cautiously, but freely. And most of all, I don't regret walking away. Because sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is stop fighting for what no longer fights for you.